Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl Molinda Jae, here to bring about a topic or a ongoing investigation that has happened in the state of Virginia in regards to the passing of Irvo Otieno. I hope I'm pronouncing his first name right. However, I have seen this earlier as I'm subscribed to a lot of news sources, and it's very disturbing to say the least. But let's go ahead and so I'm grabbing this from CNN because they having live updates about this case. So what do we know about Irvo Otieno? Because to say the least, Ben Crump is a busy man right now. He is still seeking justice with Shanquilla Robinson and her family, as well as Rasheem Carter and his family. And now and I'm pretty sure he's still working with the Tyree Nichols family as well. But this is the latest one that has happened earlier this month. So let's go ahead, dive into this. It reads, Irvo Otieno's family, originally from Kenya, and he came to the U.S. at the age of 4. Mark Crudzi, the attorney for Otieno's family, told CNN. Otieno, who is 28, had been on medication for mental illness. March 3rd, that morning, the Henrico County Police responded to a report of a possible burglary encounter Otieno. Police said in a news release on March 10th, police officers with the county crisis intervention team put him under an emergency custody due to their interactions with observations of him, police said. According to Virginia law, a person can be placed under an medical or emergency custody order when there is reason to believe they could hurt themselves or others as a result of mental illness. Crudy said Otieno was experiencing a mental health crisis on March 3rd, and his mother was on the scene and implored the police not to be aggressive with him. I think it's relatively small thing, Crude said when asked that Otieno may have been accused of and why police were involved. It's like he was collecting these lights that were on the lawn. It was not done out of any type of wrongful intent. He was just troubled at the time. Henrico police officers eventually placed Otieno in custody without further incident. Crudy said Otieno was not able to take the medication while in custody. Crudy said he was taken for evaluation for a local hospital where he became physically assaultive towards the officers. Police said he was held on 3 counts of assault on law enforcement officers, disorderly conduct in a hospital, and vandalism. Police said Otieno was then transferred to Henrico County Jail West on March 6th at around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otieno was taken to be admitted to the Central State Hospital, a state-run by mental health facility south of Richmond by Henrico County Sheriff's Office, according to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. It is not clear why deputies transferred Otieno during the intake process. Otieno became combative and was physically restrained. The attorney's office said, citing that the state police investigators were told he passed away at the hospital during the intake process. You see the air quotes, right? Y'all see the air quotes, during the intake process, the office said. Virginia State Police were called to investigate his passing at 7:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The officer said Crudy's, who is not seen in the video of the incident, said the deputies had engaged in excessive force. His mother was basically crying out for help for her son in the mental health situation. Instead, he was thrust into the criminal justice system and aggressively treated poorly at the jail, he said. The causes of Otieno's passing has not been released, according to Dinwiddie County Commonwealth Attorney Ann Cabell Baskerville. CNN has sought comment from Richmond Medical Examiner Office and Central State Hospital. Okay, so this was 11 hours and 20 minutes ago when this was posted. Furthermore, the hospital 911 call says Otieno was initially aggressive and then no longer breathing. Employees at the Central State Hospital in Dinwiddie County, Virginia, called 911 multiple times on the day Irvo, a 28-year-old Black man, passed away in custody to report he wasn't breathing and was, quote unquote, aggressive at one point. According to 911 calls, the Dinwiddie dispatch audio provided to CNN by Dinwiddie, the County of Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Otieno was smothered to DEATH on March 6th at Virginia Psychiatric Hospital, a prosecutor said. 7 Henrico County Sheriff's deputies and 3 hospital security guards have been charged with second-degree red rum in the passing of the promising hip-hop artist whose family said was having a mental health crisis when he passed away. In the hospital surveillance video released by prosecutors, Otieno is restrained and pinned to the floor by multiple security officers. About 12 minutes after the incident began, Otieno appears unresponsive. 3 more minutes pass before CPR begins, with Otieno's limbs shackled. Hospital staff at the mental health facility called for emergency services. It's unclear if they have the unnecessary equipment for or training to handle the situation. What you mean? What you mean now? And what appears to be the first call at 4:40 p.m. local time, an employee can be heard asking for EMS helping, saying that they're administering CPR, but that patient, Otieno, is very aggressive. The patient is a new admission, so we're still in the admission unit, and then he's very aggressive, the employee said. They're doing a CPR right now. How is he aggressive and they're doing CPR when he's unresponsive? What you mean? The dispatcher asked for clarification on Otieno's condition. I'm sorry, the patient aggressive or is he not breathing? That's what I'm saying. If you're saying to the 911 dispatch office, the 911 dispatcher, if you're saying he's aggressive, but you're performing CPR right now, he is not aggressive at the moment. And he's unconscious then. Furthermore, in the article, he used to be aggressive, right? So they're trying to put him in a restraint. Then eventually he is no longer breathing, the employee said. The nerve of it all. In another call that appears to happen at 5:02 p.m. local time, a stressed hospital employee can be heard saying they called at least 15 minutes ago and were still looking for medical help for an emergency, quote unquote, an emergency. You said they were en route the last time. I mean, how far were they coming from? The employee asked the dispatcher. Ma'am, they're coming, and they're coming as quickly as they can, the dispatcher responds. This is just totally unacceptable, and y'all know it too. Totally unacceptable, the employee responds. The Commonwealth Attorney Ann Cabell Baskerville told CNN in an interview with Brian Todd that she believed the hospital didn't make the 911 calls until Otieno had passed away. That's what I'm saying. The surveillance video of the hospital obtained by the CNN does not clearly show what time Otieno first appears unresponsive, but an officer is seen attempting to take a pulse from his neck at 4:39 p.m. local time. that appears to be around the time the hospital employees first called 911 based on the file names of the 911 recordings provided to CNN. CNN has reached out to the hospital for clarification when the initial phone calls were placed. I know that's right. Okay, before I move on up from the live update, there's already some sketchiness going on in this section here. How in the world y'all are going to hold up? The employees at the Central State Hospital. What do y'all mean y'all don't have the necessary equipment or training to handle the situation? What does that mean? Aren't y'all what kind of, y'all are a hospital? There's no, okay, anyways. And then also in the 911 call, how in the world y'all gonna say he's very aggressive when he's shackled and unresponsive while doing CPR? So I'm glad the dispatcher caught on to that, because girl, how in the world y'all gonna say he's aggressive but y'all performing CPR right now? And that's not matching. That's not clicking whatsoever. And then it seems like they delayed the time to either call 911 or they called 911 and it took them a minute to get to the location. So there's some sketchiness going on in this sector right here. So we definitely need some clarification on when exactly the 911 calls was done. Now here is the prosecutor, that this portion here is where the prosecutor releases video of Otieno's passing at the mental health facility, and you all can check that out during your leisure. I will not play it on my channel because it is triggering, to say the least, as well as that will be a high risk for my channel, especially as it's continued to build. So I will leave a link in the description and possibly in the pinned comment as well, so you all can take a look at the video during your leisure and just, breathe as you are watching the video. But this is just a still image of the video. Okay, and you can see all those officers. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 officers all on one person. That look like a security guard right here, and that look like a medical staff person there, and that looks like his head here, Otieno's head there. And then there's another officer that looks that's there on the ground with him. And then you see all them other folks here just there. Okay, now it reads in this section: a Virginia prosecutor released surveillance video Tuesday from a mental hospital showing the events that led to Irviento's passing. It shows Otieno lying shackled and unresponsive after being pinned to the floor by multiple security officers. Dinwiddie County Commonwealth Attorney Ann Cabell Baskerville charged 7 sheriff deputies and 3 hospital employees with second-degree red rum, telling CNN last week they smothered him to be lifeless. The newly released video begins as Otieno, bound by his hands and feet, is forcibly brought into a room and dragged into an upright seated position on the floor with his back against a chair. 10 minutes later, after Otieno has turned onto his side with 3 people holding him down, his body jerks and 5 more deputies and workers move to pin Otieno on the floor. A clear view of Otieno is blocked in much of the video, but one deputy appears to be laying his body across Otieno for most of the incident as he is forced onto his stomach. Eventually, Otieno is rolled onto his back, where several deputies appear to be restraining him with their knees. One deputy holds Otieno's head by grabbing his braided hair. The recording does not include audio. Why y'all grabbing his hair when there's plenty of people on top of him? Seriously. After 12 minutes of being pinned to the floor, one deputy can be seen shaking Otieno's hair and attempting to take a neck pulse. Otieno is unresponsive. 3 more minutes pass before CPR begins, with Otieno's limbs still shackled. 3 medical workers from the hospital are seen converging on the room as CPR continues for nearly an hour. Y'all, an hour after he's pronounced lifeless. Otieno is covered in a white sheet and still lying on the floor, his body briefly left alone in the room. The timestamp on the video shows Otieno's body being covered at 5:48 p.m. Okay, this is hard just by reading this. This is very hard just by reading this, because I can literally picture this going on in my head without even watching the video. Baskerville initially declined to release the video, but changed course after Otieno's family approved. There's no need to hide no video footage, especially when it can help the family in this case. Stop trying to coddle people. All right. So in this portion here, it reads, family attorneys say video of Otieno's passing is inhumane. Otieno passed away March 6th at the state mental health facility during the intake process as he was being transferred to Henrico County Jail, according to Commonwealth Attorney Ann Cabell Baskerville. The criminal information warrants are based on the evidence collected, analyzed, and evaluated to date. Baskerville said, according to the news release, announced the arrest of the hospital worker. She said the surveillance video from Central State Hospital that captures the intake process, a key element of that evidence. CNN has reached out to the Central State Hospital for comment. In court Wednesday, Baskerville and Otieno was in handcuffs and his leg irons was held on the ground for 12 minutes by 7 deputies. She said the surveillance video of the incident is extremely clear and extremely alarming. Also, they smothered him to being lifeless, she said. He passed away of asphyxia due to being smothered. The Office of Chief Medical Examiner in Richmond preliminary report identifies asphyxiation as the cause of passing. The Commonwealth Attorney's Office said in a statement, the Otieno family and their attorneys were shown in the video by prosecutors Thursday, March 16th. Civil rights attorney Ben Crum said in a news conference, the video is a commentary on how inhumane law enforcement officials treat people who are having mental health crises as criminals rather than treating them as people who are in need of help, he said. He in the videos is never confrontational with them. He is not posing a threat to them. He is not violent or aggressive with them. You see in the video, he is restrained with handcuffs. He has leg irons, and you see the majority of the video that seems to be in between lifelessness and unconsciousness. Exactly my point. But yeah, you see him being restrained so brutally with a knee on his neck. He said Crum called on the U.S. Department of Justice to join the investigation into Otieno's passing, saying his constitutional rights were violated. Caroline Oyuko, I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. Otieno's mother said the video was heartbreaking and added, "My son was tortured." She also spoke about her son's mental illness, saying he had long stretches where you wouldn't even know what something was wrong. And then there were times when he would go into some type of distress, and then you know he needs a doctor. And then another quote, "Mental illness should not be your ticket to lifelessness." Oyuko added, she said followed her son to the hospital on March 3rd, and a doctor who was treating Otieno approached her and said her son was going to be all right. Caroline said they pulled her son off treatment and took him to jail but didn't take his meds. Miss Caroline attempted to see her son several times, she said, but they refused to let me see my baby. That's messed up. She has every right to see her baby before even taking him to jail. And why did they pull him off treatment so quickly? She said she wouldn't wish this upon any other parent or child. They took my baby. She added, why was my son taken? What was the reason? Otieno's other brother, Leon, said he witnessed a H side in the video. What I saw was a lifeless human being without any representation, Leon said. Leon said his family is broken and is calling for more awareness on how to treat those mental illnesses. Can someone explain to me why my brother is not here right now? Leon said. Excuse me. Otieno had been on medication for mental illness, but he is not able to take medications while in custody, family attorney Mark Crudis told CNN. I wonder why you can't take medication while in custody. That's a question that needs to be explored. And I'll probably look into that. And furthermore, here are the 7 Virginia deputies that were arrested and charged with the 2nd-degree red rum. Okay, as you can see at the top left, you got Tabitha LaVere, Randy Boyer, Kyle Sanders, Dwayne Bramble, and from the bottom left, we have Jermaine Branch, Brandon Rogers, and Bradley Desai. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But the 7 sheriff's deputy in the Central Virginia were arrested and charged with 2nd-degree red rum Tuesday, March 14, in the passing of 28-year-old black man, Otieno. Excuse me. Who prosecutors saying was taking has okay. I have to reword this, y'all. Bear with me. Otieno's, whose prosecutor said was taken, smothered while in custody. Henrico County deputies involved in the passing of Otieno turned themselves to the state police Tuesday and are on administrative leave as investigations by their agency and state police continue. County Sheriff Alyssa Gregory said in a statement, the 7 deputies who are charged were identified as, and as you can see, they are all right here. All 7 are slotted to appear before a grand jury on March 21st, court records show. CNN has sought comment of the deputies. Desai's attorney, Peter B. issued a statement defending his clients. Deputy Desai has had a 20-year career with the Sheriff's Department and has served honorably. He is looking forward to his opportunity to try this case and for full truth to be shared in court and be vindicated. Bramble's attorney, Stephen Hanna, said he was still gathering information and declined to comment further. Henrico Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 4, the local police union, issued a statement on Facebook saying they stand behind the deputies. Of course. Anyways, policing in America today is difficult, made even more so by possibility of being criminally charged while performing their duty. The group said, adding, Otieno's passing was tragic, and we express our condolences to his family. We also stand beside the 7 accused deputies now charged with red rum by the DeWitt County Commonwealth Attorney and Bakersfield. Before I move on to the next update, just put your foot in the mother's shoes of how people encountered her son before his life was taken away. Just food for thought on that one. This was updated 9 hours ago. Irvo, as an American, was an apple pie, Otieno's mother says. And as you can see, picture, this is the mother holding her son's photograph. This is attorney Ben Crump, of course, and her other son, Leon, right here on the right. Okay. Aspiring rapper Otieno streamed his music with titles like Man in the Middle, Can't Wait, Trapped Out, and Frenzy under the name Young Bo. Otieno was 28, could write a song in less than 5 minutes. Oh, he talented. That's what I'm talking about. And wanted to share his own record label, said his mother, Carolyn Oyoko. Oh, that's interesting. He has his own record label? Wow. I'll have to check that out. He had found his thing. You know that feeling when you find your thing? Caroline recalled. He was happy with what he was doing. He would go into his room and shut the door, and he had it. He was brilliant and creative and bright. Otieno, whose family immigrated from Kenya when he was 4, was smothered to lifelessness on March 6th at the Central State Hospital in Virginia, as prosecutors said. 7 sheriff deputies and 3 hospital security guards have been charged with second-degree red rum in this passing. All I'm left with is his voice, Carolyn lamented. Carolyn, holding a framed portrait of a smiling Otieno during a news conference in Dinwiddie, said her son came to the U.S. from Kenya as a boy. He went to kindergarten at Tuckahoe Elementary School and graduated in 2012 from Douglas S. Freeman High School, where, according to the Richmond Times-Dispatch, he played football and basketball. He attended college in California. Otieno is as American as apple pie, his mother said. This is what he knows. This is his home for him. And when you're home, you're in a community. We live in a community. We have friends. This young man you see here had a big heart. Classmates turned to Otieno when they had problems, his mother said. He was a listener and he was a leader who brought his own perspective to the table, she added. If there was a discussion, he was not afraid to go the other way when everybody else is following, he said. This is my baby. He cared for people. He cared that people were treated right. That was the core of his upbringing in our home. He cared that people were treated equally. In middle school, Otieno would invite classmates eating lunch alone to join him, his mother said. He was kind. That's sad. Oh my goodness. Now up to this segment where the 3 Virginia hospital workers was charged with second-degree red rum and the Otieno's passing. From left to right, there is Darian M. Blackwell, Sadarius D. Williams, and Wavy L. Jones. The 3 hospital employees in Virginia were arrested Thursday and charged with second-degree red rum in the passing of Otieno, the 28-year-old black man who passed away in the state mental health facility last week. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. They were arrested Thursday, March 16th, and were being held without bail in the Meagher River Regional Jail in Brunswick County, in the Commonwealth Attorney General's Attorney's Office said. CNN had not been able to determine whether the hospital employees have legal counsel. Online court records showed the 7 deputies and 3 hospital employees were scheduled for a grand jury hearing Tuesday. Otieno passed away March 6th at the state mental health facility during the intake process as he was being transferred from Henry County Jail. Okay. Okay, we already went through that one, so we're gonna slide up here with the latest update that was updated 6 hours and 58 minutes ago. Otieno was treated worse than a dog, his mother said after viewing the video of his passing. And here you see is an image of him. Otieno's family viewed the video provided by prosecutors on Thursday, March 16th. His mother said Otieno was tortured. My son was treated like a dog, worse than a dog. Caroline screamed angrily that no one stopped what led to her son's passing. His brother, his older brother to be exact, Leon, said people should be confident in calling for help when their loved one are in crisis. He did not believe the people he saw on the video cared about preserving a life. What I saw was a lifeless human being without any representation, Leon said, adding that his family is broken and demanding more awareness on how to treat those with mental illness. Otieno loves sports, music, and the beach. Leon wrote on the GoFundMe page. He often said he wanted to be a great one day and help his young relatives back in Kenya with their needs. Otieno, his mother urged people to take a moment and listen to her son's music. He calls it like it is, but there's goodness in his music, and that's all I'm left with now. He is gone, she said. I cannot be at his wedding. I'll never see a grandchild because someone refused to help him. No one stood up to stop what was going on. We have to do better. Man, I have goosebumps after listening to that. Oh my goodness. So, in order to raise awareness, of course, there is the GoFundMe page. The goal is $100,000. Right now, it is at $12,000 and $12,000 to say the least. Okay, as well as a couple of images of him and his family. And let me see what else here. Okay, his name is he on Spotify? I need to check and see if his music is on Spotify, so his music can be streamed, because he is a rapper going by the name Young Vote. Okay. So yeah, that is what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, that's what's going on with this case of Mr. Otieno. It is getting really out of hand at this point of how people are dealt with. And with his story, it reminds me of course, George Floyd, with the officers being on his body and neck. It also reminds me of this woman here that passed away in July 19th of 2021, of Natasha McKenna. It reminds me of her passing as well, when she passed away in police custody in the Catalyst event, extraction from her cell and being tasered while shackled, and that was captured on video as well. So there, and that to say the least, it definitely is a combination of how Miss Natasha went out back in 2021, and also with George Floyd, of how his life was taken away, even though from my understanding he didn't have any mental health issues. But if he does, feel free to sound off in the comment section below with that. But other than that, his case definitely reminds me of the two that I just mentioned, and their untimely demise as well. So, excuse me, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. And like I said, I first heard about this seeing a thumbnail for one of the news nations like CBS, and I was like, okay, I gotta do some research on it, see what that is about. And then I just seen Down the Rabbit Hole doing a live stream on her channel, and from the looks of the updates of what she had broadcasted on her channel, some of the officers or some of the sheriffs have been released, but they refused commenting at the time. So yes, be sure to share this video, as well as raising if you would like to donate to the GoFundMe. Of course, I'll leave the links in the description box below. on that one. Also, another way that his mother said to keep his voice, keep his presence alive, is to stream his music. So I'll definitely check that out in my spare time and see what that is about, because it was mentioned he had his own record label too. So I'm like, okay, I definitely need to see what that is about. But other than that, it, like she said, we got to do better. And the fact that this is a brand new year astrologically wise, and the energy surrounding it, it does feel like a divine intervention on all levels. Like, as the establishment is having a breakdown, sudden change, tower moment, it is a chance for us as a collective to start building and creating our own, as well as continue to loving on one another and helping each other out when it's needed. Okay, because again, we never know what a person is going through. And then yes, there is training, but at the end of the day, you can be trained all you want to, but do you have enough empathy enough to stand up and stop what is happening and do what is right for the betterment of another human being as well? Because at the end of the day, a mother is left with um, having to bury her child due to something that could have been avoided a long time. It really could have been avoided. With all them people in that room, it really could have been avoided. Especially if he was shackled. He was shackled and he had handcuffs, but you said he's aggressive. Why is he aggressive when he's already shackled from the feet and the wrist at the end of the day? So feel free to leave your comments down in the comment section below on this subject matter. And again, don't forget to share this video or raise awareness. If you have a platform out there, raise awareness as well. There's still other content that I have to cover, like the Rasheen Carter issue that is going on, as well as Shanquilla updates as well. So it's a lot that's going on, but we gotta stay mindful, stay focused, and make sure these people, the ones that have passed away, gets justice just as much as everybody else does, that doesn't have to beg for somebody or people in higher positions to do what is right for their citizens. Okay, so I'm gonna leave y'all to it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.